So in today's class we will discuss histidine, proline and arginine, right? Anyone who can tell the importance of these amino acids? Anyone? Backbenchers who can tell me the importance of these amino acids? Histidine. So this is our histidine. You are familiar with the structure or not? Tell me just see the structure. And it contains this 5-membered ring. This is imidazol group, right? And it is a acidic amino acid or basic? Basic amino acid. Why basic? See the structure and tell me why it is a basic amino acid. Because it contains more amino group than carboxylic group. Amino groups give basic properties, right? If it has more carboxylic group, then it is acidic, like aspartic acid, glutamic acid, and it contains more amino groups. That is why it is basic. Just simple as the back of hand. Histidine. Importance of histidine. Who can tell me? Mr. Sarwar Adil is there? Very bad. 70. You can tell me. You will be honored. Histidine, histamine, allergic and asthmatic reactions. Allergy में histamine secrete होती है. That is related to histidine. Now coming on to our next amino acid, arginine. Yes. See the structure of arginine. Do you find something? More amino groups are there. So it is a basic, right? And any group, guanidino group is there, right? So how will you? Histidine contains imidazol group and this guanidino group. Now coming on to next, proline. It contains a pyrrolidine ring. This is 5-membered ring. It is proline, right? Clear है सबको? Anybody who has doubts? So we'll discuss 3 amino acids. That is our histidine, very important in histamine reactions. Then this is our arginine. What is the importance of arginine? Anybody who can tell me? Arginine. This amino acid has very big importance in erectile dysfunction. It is a vasodilator, right? And moreover, you have listened during corona, something, a molecule like wonder molecule nitric oxide. It is made from arginine. Nitric oxide, not nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a laughing gas. And no, this is nitric oxide. It is formed from arginine, right? We'll discuss in detail. Next is our proline. It contains pyrrolidine group, right? So you are now familiar with structures. Now we'll discuss the metabolism and then disorders as well, right? So right, these two, histidine and arginine, they are basic amino acid, and one more basic amino acid is lysine. Remember the mnemonic HAL, HAL होता है ना, Hall of Fame याद कर लो, histidine, arginine and lysine. So this is basic, this is basic, this is basic and this is basic. Why basic? Because they contain more amino groups. It adds to basic property, and if it has more carboxylic group, then it is acidic because it adds to acidity, right? And name of acidic amino acid, aspartic acid, glutamic acid, because they contain more carboxylic groups. That is why they are acidic. These are basic: histidine, arginine, and lysine. Right? Now start with metabolism. And there is one common thing in these three, all three. They all three, histidine, proline and arginine, they are all metabolized in the same product, that is glutamate. From glutamate, what you can form in the first class of this metabolism, hope you remember. Ammonia metabolism हमने discuss किया था. It will be finally metabolized to form urea. पहले ammonia बनेगा. Ammonia is toxic, it is metabolized to less toxic as urea, right? And glutamate was storehouse of ammonia हमने बोला था, भूल जाते हो, पढ़ते नहीं, very bad, ठीक है? तो remember one thing, all these three amino acids, histidine, Proline and arginine, they are metabolized via glutamate, right? So first of all, I will start with histidine. So I am just writing the names, not drawing the structure. Histidine. The first enzyme is histidase, and ammonia is removed, right? And you will get right, and here we will get the next two reactions, water is added, right? So histidine, listen, just try to remember it. I just writing in a simpler manner. Histidine will undergo reaction by histidase and ammonia is removed, right? We'll get our urocanate. Urocanate will undergo hydroxylation to form 4-imidazole 5-propionate. Remember the mnemonic 45. 4-imidazole 5-propionate, right? Then comes FIGLU, 4-amino glutamate, right? And this FIGLU is converted to glutamate, right? And this reaction requires B12 and conversion of tetrahydrofolate to N5 tetrahydrofolate, right? And when there is deficiency of vitamin B12, this reaction is blocked and it is not converted to glutamate, and then there is excretion of FIGLU into urine, right? If you rate vitamins, the most important vitamin is B12. Most of the important reactions are done by this B12, right? So अगर वाइवा आएगा, थ्योरी पेपर में आएगा, तो B12 is the most important. You cannot skip fat soluble and B12, right? And this B12 you get glutamate. From glutamate, what will you form? Alpha ketoglutarate. Now where it will enter? Yeah, no problem. Now it is metabolized. But that's why it is called amphibolic pathway, like a highway. TCA is a highway from where lots of reactions come and intermediate they further metabolize, right? So we started from histidine, acted upon by histidase to ammonia is removed. Then we get our urocanate, right? Urocanate is converted to 4-imidazole 5-propionate. You can remember the mnemonic 4-5, right? 45. Then it's converted to 4-aminoglutamate, right? And if FIGLU is converted to glutamate via B12 reaction, and tetrahydrofolate is used to produce N5 tetrahydrofolate, right? And this reaction is carried by B12, and if there is deficiency of B12, this reaction is blocked. This is returned to urine, right? And then we'll get glutamate. Glutamate is converted to alpha ketoglutarate, and this alpha ketoglutarate will enter TCA. So this is the metabolism of first, that is histidine, right? Now we'll move to next, that is our proline. I told and showed you structure. It is a 5-membered ring. 5-membered ring was there, na? Proline. Just see. This is proline, right? It is a 5-membered ring and it contains pyrrolidine group. And the previous histidine, this one. And it is basic amino acid C. It contains more amino groups. That is adding to the basic property. If it contains more than one carboxylic group, then it is acidic, and it contains more amino groups, that is why it is basic. And it contains which group? Imidazole group. This one, 5-membered imidazole, right? Now we start with proline. This proline is acted upon by proline oxidase, right? And oxygen is added. And what will you get? Pyrroline 5-carboxylase. right? And it is further converted to glutamate 5-semi-aldehyde, right? And this glutamate 5-semi-aldehyde is further converted to this again glutamate. I told you all these three, histidine, proline and arginine, they are metabolized via glutamate. First off, during the course of metabolism, they are first converted to glutamate and then they are further metabolized to the body, right? So histidine was there, first section was histidase, ammonia is removed, you get urocanate. Urocanate is acted upon by water to form 4 imidazole, 5 propylene and mnemonic is 4,545, right? Then you will get figlu, 4 aminoglutamate, and this reaction is further carried by B12 and tetrahydrofolate to form glutamate. From glutamate, it is metabolized to form alpha ketoglutarate. This alpha ketoglutarate will enter TCA. It is metabolized now. Now coming on to proline. First reaction is by proline oxidase. It is converted to proline 5-carboxylase, and this reaction is non-enzymatic reaction and it will form glutamate 5-semi-aldehyde, and then this reaction is a dehydrogenase reaction and will get our glutamate. And glutamate is further metabolized by the same pathway, alpha ketoglutarate, and it will enter TCA cycle. Now coming on to the third, that is our arginine, right? Arginine is which amino acid, acidic or basic? Tell me. Just recall. Where is Shubman Gill? Which is the amino acid is this? Arginine. Basic. Why basic? Yeah. If one amino is there, one carboxylic is there, it is the valence is balanced, right? So it is neutral. But if one more amino group is there, it will become basic, and if more carboxylic group is there, it will become acidic, right? So now starting with arginine, first of all, it will be acted upon by arginase, right? And urea is removed. I hope you remember urea cycle. You have seen this reaction somewhere else in the previous classes, and arginine is converted to ornithine, right? Can anybody draw urea cycle on the board? संध्या आंखें नीचे कर ली पहले, बोलो ट्राई करोगी? 70 you can try. Our opener Rohit Sharma will try. Anybody who dare to try, I will honor that boy or girl. Anybody? Yes, you can try. I will help you. Just recall urea cycle. What was the mnemonic? CpCASAO. CpCASAO. Cp for carbamyl phosphate. C for citrulline. CpC. AS for arginosuccinate. Arginosuccinate. Then A for arginine, and then ornithine. All the reactions are interrelated. Arginine to ornithine, the second last reaction. And this reaction is familiar with, I told you in the TCA cycle. The second last step is oxaloacetate to, वो भी देखो, पढ़ते नहीं बच्चे मेरे, क्या करूँ? So now arginine will undergo reaction by arginase. Urea is released and will get our ornithine. Yawning and sleeping in my class. Now it will undergo transamination reaction and it will form again glutamate 5-semi-aldehyde, and then again glutamate is formed, right? Now ये glutamate से और क्या बना सकते हैं? Glutamine. This glutamine can be converted back to glutamate by glutaminase reaction. Water is added and ammonia is removed, and we'll get a back glutamate, right? So finally they are metabolized by glutamate to alpha ketoglutarate, and alpha ketoglutarate will enter TCA cycle, right? So this is the basic structure, right? क्या हो गया, इतनी लफिंग हो रही है? कुछ कमेंट कर रहे हैं बच्चे. This is very bad baby, very bad, right? So we discussed 3 amino acids: histidine, proline and arginine, right? The biomedical importance of histidine is in histamine formation, arginine is in nitric oxide formation, and histidine is metabolized. All the three, they are metabolized to form glutamate, and then they are finally secreted to the body, right? So for histidine, first we'll undergo reaction by histidase and ammonia is released and we'll get our urocanate, and then urocanase enzyme is used and it will get converted to our mnemonic 45 4 imidazole 5 propionate, right? Then it is converted again, water is added and we get our figlu 4 amino glutamate, right? Then it is converted to glutamate via tetrahydrofolate reaction, and this reaction requires B12, right? And if the B12 deficiency is there, the figlu is secreted into urine and it will cause disorder, right? Coming on to the next, that is our proline. It contains pyrrolidine group. First of all, proline oxidase will act, it will oxidize to form pyrrolidine 5 carboxylase. Then happens non-enzymatic reaction, it is converted to glutamate 5 semi-aldehyde. Then it is again converted to glutamate, and glutamate is further metabolized by alpha ketoglutarate via TCA cycle, right? Third is our arginine. Arginine is acted upon by arginase and urea is released. The second last steps of urea cycle, and this metabolism is bit same, right? CPCASAO, right? The mnemonic was CP for carbamyl phosphate, C for citrulline, AS for arginosuccinate, then A for arginine, and then ornithine, right? So this second last step for urea cycle, this is same. Arginine is converted to ornithine, urea is released and acted upon by enzyme arginase. Then ornithine will undergo transamination reaction to form glutamate 5 semi-aldehyde, again converted to glutamate and further metabolized via TCA cycle, right? And this glutamate, if you have glutamine, it can be converted back to glutamate via glutaminase reaction. Water is added and ammonia is removed to form glutamate. Glutamate is metabolized via alpha ketoglutarate via TCA cycle, right? Now some biomedical importance of all these three. Have you taken screenshot? I can delete. Okay. Yeah. So first of all, we start with histidine. Histidine was which amino acid? Right? And it contains more amino groups, right? And now we are moving carbon dioxide. So it will become a amine, histamine, right? You remember actions like this manner. It is a basic amino acid, so it contains more amino groups. But now we are moving carbon dioxide via decarboxylation, we are getting histamine. Histamine is a amine form of histidine, right? Because we have removed carbon dioxide, right? Histamine, right? And what is the importance of histamine? Anybody who can try? It is increasing allergic reactions, right? It is increasing asthma, right? Anything else? एंटीहिस्टामाइन सुने क्या होते हैं? व्हाट आर एंटीहिस्टामाइंस? दे आर ड्रग्स. कई सुबह खा के आए होंगे रेंटिडीन, ओमिप्राजोल. एसिडिटी बहुत होती है. इट आल्सो रेगुलेट्स एसिडिटी एज वेल. दिस एसिडिटी गैस्ट्रिक म्यूकोसा की एसिडिटी को भी रेगुलेट करता है. हाउ? लेट्स सी. हिस्टिडीन undergoes decarboxylation to form histamine, right? When this molecule is increased, it will cause allergic and inflammatory reactions. It can cause asthma. Its levels are increasing in asthma, right? And gastric mucosa की acidity भी करता है, right? If you are acidity, you are told to take some antacid, right? Or एंटीहिस्टामाइन्स लाइक दिस। रेनिटिडीन कौन सा ट्रेड नेम में आती है? एसिलॉक 300 सुनी है? एसिलॉक खाते होगे कोई, दैट इज रेनिटिडीन। ओमिप्राजोल सुनी होगी, खाली पेट खानी, सुबह चाय भी नहीं पीनी, पहले ये खानी है, तो इट विल लेयर द, वो क्या करती है, अगर हिस्टामाइन के रिसेप्टर है ना यहाँ पे, उसको ब्लॉक कर देगी, तो वो हिस्टामाइन सिक्रीट नहीं होगी, right? The mechanism of action is used by biochemistry, but pharmacology people are earning money, we are not earning money. Difference is that, right? So importance of histidine is 3. One is it is increase in allergic and inflammatory reactions. So अगर आप इसको ब्लॉक करोगे तो एस्थमा और allergic रिएक्शन ब्लॉक होंगे, right? And moreover gastric mucosa में एसिडिटी है तो उसमें भी यूज करेंगे, and we use antihistamines like name any of them, omeprazole, ranitidine, right? And the disorder associated is disorder. The disorder is histidine. This is the disorder associated with this metabolism. Histidine, what does it indicate? See the name. Increased levels of histidine. Why? It is metabolized via C. It is metabolized via histidase. Histidine is converted to urocanate and then 4-amino, imidazole and 5-propionate, right? So we are lacking this enzyme histidase. The enzyme is absent, that is our histidase. This is absent, right? So what will happen? And write down the frequency, 1 in 20,000 bus. The disorder frequency is 1 in 20,000 bus, write down, right? And due to factin enzyme, histidase, right? So histidine is not metabolized, so levels of histidine will increase, and there is increased secretion of imidazole, pyruvate, and both histidine in urine. इसकी excretion urine में create हो जाएगी because it is not metabolized, and these patients are mentally retarded. Write down. These patients are mentally retarded and have defect in speech as well. These patients are mentally retarded and they have defect in speech. Right? So I repeat histidine metabolism. First of all, we are having histidine. It is acted upon by histidase. We'll get our urocanate. Right? Urocanate is converted by hydroxylation to form 45, 4-imidazole, 5-propionate. Then it is converted again hydroxylated to form figlu, 4-amino glutamate. Then it is metabolized to form glutamate, and glutamate enter alpha ketoglutarate to enter TCA cycle and it will be metabolized. Right? Now the biomedical importance was, first is that it is increase in allergic and asthmatic reactions, right? And during gastric mucosa acidity उसमें increase होगा, right? तो we use antihistamines, right? During acidity, सुबह खाते हो, कई बच्चे खाते भी होंगे, acidity है तो we will take Acilog. Acilog is a ranitidine. Then omeprazole is there. These are all antihistamine because they block the histamine receptors, so that histamine is not secreted, right? Now the disorder was histidinemia. The frequency was 1 in 20,000 bus, right? And the mental defects are there, and it is also having defect in speech, and deficiency enzyme is histidase, right? The levels of histidine will increase, right? And it is secreted into urine, right? Just simple, just basic करेंगे इसमें. Next, coming on to our proline. Proline का metabolism just revise. We have proline. It's acted upon by proline oxidase to form pyrrolidine 5-carboxylase, then converted to glutamate 5-semialdehyde, then dehydrogenase reaction to form glutamate. Then same pathway, it will form alpha ketoglutarate and metabolized via TCA cycle. Any point is there? Anybody? There are two main disorders associated with this metabolism. Anybody who can recall disorders? Hyperprolinemia type 1 and 2. Type 1 and this is type 2. The two main disorders are associated with it, right? Hyperprolinemia type 1 and type 2, right? Anybody who can discuss disorders? In type 1, the defect enzyme is the first enzyme, that is proline. oxidase. The enzyme defect in type 1 is proline oxidase. How will you remember this? In tyrosinemia type 1 and 2 we discussed. In which metabolism tyrosinemia comes? Tryptophan or tyrosine? Tyrosine. And the second enzyme was phenylalanine to tyrosine and tyrosine to phenylhydroxyphenyl pyruvate. You have to remember it again and again, otherwise you will forget it completely. That's why I am repeating again and again, right? And the second enzyme is associated with disorder tyrosinemia type 2, right? And now this metabolism hyperprolinemia type 1. Type 1 is there, the enzyme is first, that is our proline oxidase, right? Now coming on to type 2. इसमें कौन सा enzyme deficient है? Anybody? The enzyme defect is वो टाइप नहीं, मैं अब इसका करा रहा हूँ. दैट्स ओके, थैंक यू, यू आर रिकॉलिंग इट. नाउ टाइप 2 इट इज एसोसिएटेड विद हाइड्रोक्सीप्रोलिन डेफिशिएंसी. हाइड्रोक्सीप्रोलिन. If I am writing this, that means hydroxy. I use short forms, right? Hydroxyproline. The first was associated with proline oxidase, and this was associated with hydroxyproline deficiency type 2, right? Anything left in proline metabolism? That is finished. Very short, but I think you will not get question, but you have to study it, right? Only the disorder will come. Type 1 or type 2 or enzyme defect in multiple choice questions, right? Now coming on to the third one, very important. Arginine, right? That is arginine. Arginine. Third one, this one. So first of all, it is associated with urea cycle or not? The second last steps of urea cycle and this metabolism is same, right? So I told arginine is cleaved by arginase to form ornithine and urea, right? And this urea is secreted via kidneys. And anything what is related to ornithine? Ornithine. Lucy, feeling sleepy? Okay. Ornithine. Any importance of ornithine? We have high levels of ornithine in brain as well. Now I give you hint. The brain has high levels of ornithine. And we can also, there is some breathing technique I will tell you later in the class that can also lead to increase in ornithine in the brain. I will discuss later on. बोलो, तभी जल्दी खत्म करते हैं ना इसको. बोलो. तो first of all, arginine is cleaved via arginase to form urea and ornithine, right? Then ornithine is further metabolized via glutamate 5-amino-aldehyde, then to glutamate and then alpha-ketoglutarate. The metabolism is same, and the disorder associated is hyperargininemia. Hyperargininemia, right? Hyper means ऑलवेज क्लास में फ़ोन करता है कोई, बंद करो उसको. हाइपरआर्जिनीमिया. तो एंजाइम डिफेक्ट इज arginine is not metabolized to form ornithine. The enzyme defect is arginase deficiency or absence, right? Now we'll start with nitric oxide. What is the importance of nitric oxide? And arginine is substrate. Arginine is substrate for the synthesis of nitric oxide. This is very much important molecule. Tell me some good sources of nitric oxide. Then I will tell you book about that also. Good sources of nitric oxide. आजकल मिल रहा है मार्केट में. मैं कल खाया रात को सैलेड के साथ. बोलो anybody, I gave you hint. It is red colored. Beetroot. It is very good source of nitric oxide. Beetroot. चुकंदर बोलते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं इधर मुझे नहीं पता. Beetroot. सुना नाम beetroot? Yeah. And other Popeye the Sailor Man, spinach. These two are very good sources of nitric oxide, right? Right? Anything left? and now we'll discuss nitric oxide in detail. And how it is formed. Arginine is converted to citrulline by a nitric oxide synthase reaction, and in this reaction nitric oxide is formed, right? And there is difference between nitric oxide and nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is NO only, and nitric oxide, that is laughing gas, that is NO2. We are discussing NO, no, not NO2, right? Now see the importance. First is, it is a vasodilator and cause relaxation of smooth muscles, right? And key molecule in regulation blood flow and blood pressure, and it helps in decreasing the blood pressure as well, right? And it also acts as inhibitor of platelet aggregation and adhesion, right? And it also functions as a messenger molecule in nervous system, right? And it also mediates bactericidal action on macrophages, right? And it is also involved in erection of penis, right? And it is also involved in fertilization ovum and formation of good embryo, right? And the functions, therapeutic कहाँ use करते हैं? If you have angina pectoris, you are given nitroglycerin. It is made from nitric oxide, right? So many lives till they are saved due to nitric oxide. That is why it is considered as a wonder molecule. Nitric oxide is converted to nitroglycerin with amyl nitrate used in treatment of angina pectoris since 1867, right? And it has a very short half-life, only 5 seconds. This molecule has short half-life and vivo production भी कर रहे हैं इसकी, and it also help in smooth muscle relaxation, right? Metabolism हो गया. Mechanism of action कैसे काम करता है? Via synthesis of cyclic GMP and protein kinase, right? And there is one product, that is agmatine. It is derivative of arginine produced in brain, and agmatine possess antihypertensive properties, right? Lysine बाद में करते हैं. Just anybody who can tell how you can increase synthesis of nitric oxide. I told you food sources two. Most important which sources was nitric oxide and was spinach. Green vegetables, they are highly rich, and second is beetroot, right? Eat them daily, right? After 5 years you will not have weight gain, you will be relaxed and hypertension will not come, right? That is very good, right? And anything left in, how will you naturally synthesize nitric oxide from the body? In the brain. It is a relaxing molecule. It will give you good sleep. How? कोरोना टाइम इसकी बहुत स्टडीज हुई थी. एनीबॉडी भ्रामरी प्राणायाम सुना है? भ्रामरी, जब ऐसे बंद करके हमिंग भी प्राणायाम बोलते हैं ना. When that is done, it will lead to increase synthesis of nitric oxide, right? तो अगर ये करोगे ना पढ़ने से पहले only 10 times, your focus will be increased because it also acts as a good neurotransmitter. न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर का भी अच्छा काम करता है, तो दैट इज वाई इट इज वेरी गुड, राइट? और अगर नहीं कर सकते तो बीटरूट रोज खाओ, स्पिनच खाओ, ठीक है? पॉजिटिव रहना है तो भी खाओगे, राइट? लेक्चर इज फिनिश. थैंक यू.